Beneath the scorching Egyptian sun, a discovery is emerging from the sands, a city lost to time. Archaeologists brush away the desert's veil grain by grain, revealing mud brick walls and everyday objects astonishingly intact. It's as if time froze here 300 to 400 years ago, preserving a snapshot of ancient life.
In 2021, a team in Luxor uncovered the so-called Lost Golden City, a vast royal metropolis from the reign of Amenhotep III. Under what appeared to be blank desert, they found entire neighborhoods, homes with pottery and tools still in place, a bakery, workshops for glass and metal, even a cemetery of rock-cut tombs. The preservation was so extraordinary, archaeologists wandering its streets half expected an ancient Egyptian to turn the corner. This discovery, hailed as one of the most important since King Tut's tomb, offers an intact window into a golden age of Egyptian wealth and daily life. This golden city isn't alone. Egypt's deserts are giving up other secrets long thought lost. Abydos, one of the oldest sacred cities, was buried by sand for millennia. Recent excavations uncovered the massive tomb of an unknown pharaoh, evidence of a lost dynasty. And in the Nile Delta, the city of Tanis, the real-life city that inspired Indiana Jones, was gradually swallowed by the desert after the Nile River shifted course. In 1939, archaeologists digging at Tanis uncovered intact royal tombs filled with golden masks and jewelry of forgotten pharaohs. These rediscovered cities, from Luxor's Golden Aten to Tanis and Abydos, remind us that Egypt's sands still hide secrets, waiting to be revealed. How do you find a lost city under a desert? Modern technology is now the archaeologist's secret weapon. Satellites use infrared imaging to spot faint outlines of man-made structures beneath Egypt's dry earth. In one case, satellites identified the location of a 3,000-year-old house at Tanis, and excavators uncovered it exactly where images showed it to be. Closer to the ground, archaeologists use ground-penetrating radar, GPR, to detect what lies beneath their feet. This technology has mapped out subsurface tombs and city grids without turning a shovel. In one project, GPR helped detect chambers full of coffins in the Valley of the Golden Mummies before excavation began. These tools allow archaeologists to zero in on targets deep under desert sands, a far cry from the old days of digging blindly. A lost city buried in Egypt's sands sounds like adventure fiction, but could it be connected to the legend of Atlantis? Plato's famous tale of a magnificent island empire swallowed by the sea might not be just myth. The story was passed down through Egyptian priests in the Nile Delta city of Sais. Plato described Atlantis as a city of concentric rings of land and water, with a lush plain outside and mountains to the north, a geographic layout oddly specific. Enter the Eye of the Sahara. The Rishat structure, a circular geological formation nearly 25 miles across, resembles the concentric rings Plato described. Satellite images show traces of ancient waterways running south from the structure, perhaps what Plato called the canal to the sea. Some have even suggested that around 12,000 years ago, this region was flooded, not by the ocean but by a massive runoff or tsunami, leaving salt and mud as the legend describes. Could this be the site of a once great city swallowed by sand rather than sea? Mainstream geologists argue the Rishat structure is entirely natural, but the hypothesis endures because it ties together Egyptian lore and Sahara science. The Sahara wasn't always a desert, and Egyptian priests kept extensive records of great floods. Could memories of an ancient city lost to the sands have been preserved in the Atlantis myth? Before the pharaohs, the Sahara was teeming with life. From around 10,000 BCE to 5,000 BCE, northern Africa went through an era called the African Humid Period, or the Green Sahara. Rains swept the region, turning deserts into grasslands and lakes. Prehistoric rock art shows elephants, giraffes, and hippos, proof that the Sahara once supported rich savannas and watering holes. People also lived there, and some nomadic groups moved along the lakes and rivers of the Green Sahara. Around 5,000 years ago, the climate shifted, and the Sahara began to dry. The Taman Rasset River, which once flowed through Algeria and Mauritania, dried up, and lakes turned to salt pans. Scientists are still studying whether this was a gradual drying or the result of mega droughts. Some suggest a cataclysm, a sudden flood or storm surge, might have triggered the transformation. By 3000 BCE, the Sahara had become the desert we know today. This dramatic climate shift coincides with the timeline of Plato's Atlantis, said to have been destroyed 9,000 Egyptian years before Solon's time, which many believe would place it near the end of the last ice age. Could the myth of Atlantis be a fading memory of this dramatic change? A city lost not to the sea, but to the sands. From Luxor's Golden City to the Risha structure in the Sahara, one theme emerges. Time and nature can bury history as effectively as any ocean. Tanis, once a bustling city, was abandoned and swallowed by the desert after the Nile shifted its course. Ancient Nile branches like the Ahramat have come and gone, turning river temples into desert ruins. The desert, in its relentless patience, keeps secrets well, and Egypt's sands still hold many chapters of history waiting to be uncovered. Incredibly, the Giza pyramids aren't the only mystery on that plateau. Next, we turn to the enigmatic Great Sphinx. Beneath its colossal paws lies an ancient secret that scientists still can't fully explain. Is it a hidden chamber, a natural anomaly, or something even more astonishing? Join us in our next exploration as we probe the underground riddles of the Sphinx, a journey into the unknown, right under the shadow of the pharaohs.
In many ways, it was the mystery of the Sphinx that really broke everything open. It brought everything to the public attention.
Now, what we're talking about for the people that are uninformed is the idea that some of the structures in ancient Egypt are far older than conventional wisdom or conventional modern-day archaeology, modern-day Egyptologists. They would like us to believe that all of this spawned from a very specific time period.
Dynastic Egypt, as we know it, going back to about 3000 BC, was really a legacy of what I call now an earlier cycle of civilization. As a geologist with a geological eye, this was not weathered by wind and sand. This was not desert erosion and weathering that I saw on the Sphinx, the body of the Sphinx, which is very difficult to tell because it's been heavily repaired and reworked, but particularly on the walls of what are known as the Sphinx enclosure. The Sphinx enclosure is important because it preserves a lot of the details. And if the audience has not been to Egypt, they should realize that when they carved the Sphinx, it's all solid bedrock. Only the head initially was above the ground surface. They carved down into the rock to free up the body, what I call the core body of the Sphinx.
For centuries, the Great Sphinx of Giza has stood as a silent guardian of Egypt's Giza Plateau, watching over the pyramids and the Nile. Its lion's body and human head have inspired myths, legends, and scholarly debate. But beneath its imposing form lies a deeper enigma. What secrets does the Sphinx hold? And who were the architects behind its creation? The rediscovery of the Sphinx happened long after its original construction. For much of its history, it was almost entirely buried under sand, with only its head visible. In 1817, Italian explorer Captain Giovanni Battista Caviglia led an early excavation, clearing some of the sand to reveal more of the body. Yet, there were no signs of entrances or hidden chambers. The major breakthrough came in the 1920s and 1930s, when French Egyptologist Émile Barrès conducted a more systematic excavation, fully exposing the Sphinx's body. Evidence of subterranean passages led to speculation about what lay beneath this ancient monument. Could this be the legendary Hall of Records, a hidden repository of ancient knowledge? In the 1970s and 1980s, modern technology like ground-penetrating radar and seismographs was used by archaeologists such as Dr. Mark Lehner and John Anthony West. Their findings revealed anomalies, hollow spaces beneath the Sphinx, raising new questions. What were these voids for? Were they ritual chambers, tombs, or something more? These discoveries have sparked the imagination of both scholars and the public. Many speculate about ancient knowledge hidden within these tunnels and chambers which remain largely unexplored. The idea of the Hall of Records, a fabled repository of wisdom from a pre-dynastic civilization, persists, though no solid evidence has confirmed its existence. As for the dimensions of these hidden spaces, some tunnels extend nearly 30 meters, with chambers reaching heights of 5 meters. The complexity and scale of these cavities astonish researchers, as their construction would have required precise engineering to avoid damaging the Sphinx above. Could a civilization over 4,000 years ago really have achieved this with primitive tools? One particularly mysterious feature is a metal hatch discovered on the Sphinx's head during a 20th century restoration. While some believe it's a modern addition for maintenance, others suggest more fantastical possibilities. Was this hatch a secret entry to hidden chambers? Could it be a relic of a lost technology designed by the builders for some unknown purpose? The question remains, who built the Sphinx, and how did they achieve such a perfect blend of form and function? The Sphinx is an impressive 240 feet long, 66 feet high, and 62 feet wide. Carved from a single mass of limestone bedrock, its weight is estimated at 200 tons. Its dimensions are comparable to a modern football field, and its height rivals a 6-story building. Given the rudimentary copper tools available to the ancient Egyptians, this achievement seems almost impossible. While scholars attribute the construction of the Sphinx to Pharaoh Khafre around 2500 BCE, some researchers believe it may be much older. Evidence of water erosion suggests the Sphinx may have been exposed to heavy rainfall centuries ago, dating it to as early as 10,000 BCE. This theory challenges conventional timelines, suggesting the Sphinx was built by an even older, lost civilization. Could the Sphinx have been constructed by a forgotten culture, equipped with knowledge and technology far beyond what we attribute to the Egyptians? The discovery of hidden chambers beneath the monument only adds to this speculation. Were these spaces used to store ancient texts, or perhaps to honor deities through ritualistic practices? Yet, as we uncover more about the Sphinx, the techniques used to build it remain just as mysterious. How did these ancient builders move and shape the enormous stone blocks? Theories abound about the construction methods. It is believed that tens of thousands of laborers worked together, using wooden sledges and water-lubricated sand to transport massive stones across the desert. While modern experiments have shown this method is possible, some argue that a lost technology or unknown knowledge must have been involved. More speculative theories propose that the builders might have used advanced tools or sound resonance to manipulate the stone. The deeper we dig into the mysteries of the Sphinx, the more questions we uncover. But one thing is certain. As we continue to explore the hidden chambers beneath the Sphinx, the story of its creation grows ever more fascinating. History, it seems, is never truly set in stone. New discoveries and secrets lie waiting to be uncovered. Perhaps the greatest mystery of all is not what the Sphinx reveals, but what it continues to keep hidden. In the shadow of the Sphinx, we are left wondering, who built this ancient monument and why? How did they achieve such precision, and what was the true purpose of the Sphinx and its surrounding megastructures? The most common theory is that the Sphinx was commissioned by Pharaoh Khafre, who also built the second largest pyramid on the Giza plateau. But some evidence calls this theory into question. Water erosion patterns on the Sphinx's body suggest it could be far older, possibly dating back to 10,000 BCE, when Egypt experienced heavier rainfall. If this is true, it would mean the Sphinx predates the Egyptian civilization by thousands of years, suggesting the existence of a forgotten culture. Could this lost civilization have been responsible for building the Sphinx? And if so, why are there no other traces of their presence? These questions fuel conspiracy theories that continue to captivate the imagination. One theory proposes that the Sphinx was built not as a tomb, but as an astronomical observatory. Its alignment with the constellation Leo during the vernal equinox suggests a connection to the stars, possibly serving as a marker of time or even a communication device with other worlds. Another theory suggests that the Sphinx and pyramids were part of an ancient energy system. Some believe the pyramids were energy generators, with the Sphinx acting as a control mechanism. The alignment of these structures with the Earth's magnetic field, combined with their proximity to the Nile, supports this idea. Though no concrete evidence backs this claim, it remains a compelling alternative explanation for their purpose. But the mysteries don't stop there. What other secrets might be hidden beneath the Sphinx? Beneath the Sphinx, unexplored chambers continue to spark speculation. Could these be the fabled Hall of Records? According to legend, this hidden vault contains the lost wisdom of an ancient civilization, possibly Atlantis. Though no one has conclusively discovered it, the search for the Hall of Records continues to intrigue explorers. And then, there are those who believe the Sphinx's builders had help from beyond this world. Extraterrestrial theories surrounding the Sphinx have persisted for decades. Some claim that the precision and scale of its construction are too advanced for the period, suggesting ancient Egyptians had assistance from extraterrestrial visitors. While this remains in the realm of science fiction, it highlights the fascination the Sphinx holds over the human imagination. Yet, even without the intervention of alien hands, the Sphinx and its surrounding pyramids are marvels of engineering. As we stand before the Sphinx, we are left with more questions than answers. What was its true purpose? Who were its builders? And why does it continue to mystify us after thousands of years? And so, the Great Sphinx of Giza remains, watching over the desert, guarding secrets that may never be fully understood. What lies beneath its paws, in hidden chambers, or in the past still waiting to be uncovered? Only time, and perhaps future discoveries, will reveal the answers. Until then, the Sphinx will keep its secrets, waiting patiently for the day when we are ready to understand what it truly has to tell us. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the mysteries of the past, you're absolutely going to love our next adventure. We're heading deep into the heart of Saqqara, where we'll uncover a monumental secret hidden within a pyramid, a 100-ton sarcophagus that defies conventional explanation. The sheer scale and precision of its construction will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about ancient civilizations. Get ready to witness the impossible as we explore a site that pushes the boundaries of human capability.
In the boxes in places like the Serapeum, which is probably my favorite site, because there's literally miles of tunnels beneath Saqqara. So it's like a giant underground necropolis. Inside the Serapeum, you have 25 of these things, which are these single-piece, like 100-ton granite boxes. They're insane. It's absolutely insane. And this one in particular is in an off-limits area that we went into that's rarely seen by tourists. we couldn't make the box without developing specific tools to do it, because the way they'd make it is they'd cut like 5 slabs and then bolt them together, you know, like a floor and then 4 walls, and they'd bolt it together into a box. These are single pieces. So what's impressive about that is it's like you have to quarry this one block of stone and then dig it out. You have to dig all of the inside out, and some of the examples of precision in the Serapeum are absolutely remarkable. You have perfect 90-degree corners in some of the boxes, perfect 90-degree interfaces with the lids, and some of these walls maintain that geometry from like being 11 feet apart. Like, that's insane. Like, that's one of the major challenges of this is in designing and maintaining that type of relative geometry in a space where you can't afford to make any mistakes.